Hey, can everyone hear me? There's a about like a 20-second delay, so it'll take a couple of seconds before I see the feedback. Great, awesome. I just want to check. It's my first stream, so I'm bound to have a few technical difficulties along the way, but let's start jumping into stuff. So, contributing to open source software. So, we're going to go over a good few things today. I'm going to have my laptop in front of me because we're going to do some coding as well. There is going to be a few things we're going to go over. But as a quick intro, in case it's your first time being to one of my meetups, obviously this is the first one I'm doing online. But I'm Niall, and I'm a JavaScript developer by trade. I run a small business called Kodu here in Dublin, Ireland, and I'm a technical reviewer for Pack Publishing, and generally I just like coding a lot, so it's a suitable career for me. So if you want to code along, and later on in it we're going to have a live repo, and I'm going to actually review some PRs and get some people's code onto the web live in the workshop. So if you want to code along, you can just make sure you have Git and Node installed, and the links are in the description. And I have a little cheat sheet available just for later on. If you forget you might need it, you won't need to get it yet, but it's just so we remember the steps on actually getting started. So what country is everyone from? I actually have a few people from around the world, which is bizarre to me because I'm used to just sitting in a WeWork office in Dublin and doing these, but obviously with the times it's a little bit different. I have a small screen down here so I can see the comments if you're wondering where I'm looking at the whole time. Ooh, Portugal, Dublin 2. There you go. Even Waterford. That's probably the furthest we've gotten in here. So, oh, Brazil. Excellent. This is awesome. Yeah. So I'm hoping, I suppose, I'll stream my meetups from now on online. So it just gives, I suppose, it opens up the experience to the group as well because we can get a lot more input and different people involved. So what also a lot of people are at me about this, but I think it's something cool we're going to do. I'm going to do a t-shirt giveaway on this stream as well. I just announced on my Twitter, so it's at Niall Joe Maher. There's probably a link in the description as well to my Twitter account. Leave a funny meme as a response. If it's programming, great. And I'll also accept Tiger King memes because I think they're hilarious at the moment. So if you have any good memes, throw them in. And when people are coding at the end, so it's not just me sitting there waiting for people to code, I'm going to actually review some of the memes that we get and see what we get. And I have a couple of t-shirts to give away. So I have a men's t-shirt and a women's t-shirt to give away. So I'll definitely go through that. And if you can't find a meme, just leave a comment at least, because I might just give another one away just for at random as well. So let me just jump over to the Twitter. and make sure we can see. So yeah, if you we'll see the going live now tweet up there. You can leave a comment on that one. Awesome. So the first thing we're going to jump into before I start looking at code and everything else is why open source. And if anyone has been in software for longer than a week, they've probably come across something they've installed on their machine that was free, and they've gotten something cool working out of it. So this is kind of the nice part about the open source web, is that we have lots of tools to do nearly everything. I'm even like streaming this off free software that's open source, and my editor I do for my videos now is free online as well, which is fantastic. And even the packages, I'm a JavaScript developer, so it's notorious in the industry that we have massive dependencies on packages and things to actually get a project even started. So like I said, without open source, a lot of us would be kind of screwed. So to give back to open source is always just kind of like a nice thing to do, but also it opens up a lot of opportunities, because if you are, say, a contributor to something like React, which is a huge open source framework, and you have that on your CV, suddenly you're super valuable to a company. I like on myself, I was just noticing like Expo have released a few new APIs. That's a React Native library, and I've just opened a couple of comments there in the last couple of days to ask could I help in a couple of different areas. And there's a lot of people just making friends, and it's a nice, friendly, open community. You're going to come across some different communities that aren't so friendly. But I'm also going to go into a little bit later on how to find, I suppose, beginner-friendly ones, or for whatever level you're at, which will help. But I think open source can open a lot of doors for your career. You can be the guy, the expert at something, and it can definitely like boost your salary or income very quickly by just, having, say, I'm a contributor to this open source thing. And especially a lot of people, and I kind of took it for granted, just have a mental barrier saying like, maybe it's too complicated to jump in, I don't know code well enough. And I'm hoping at the end of this session you'll have a little bit of confidence to actually start going and finding, even if it's a small project, something that you'll be comfortable enough to jump in. So I'm just going to go over some of the lingo that we're going to use during the session, so to make sure that everyone's on the same page when I use these terms. And if you get lost or anything, please just add questions in the messages, help each other out in the messages as well. Usually we do these things live and people are talking and correcting me. So, because I always make mistakes at these things as well. So when I make a mistake or anything else as well, just leave messages and correct me in the comments. So repository is basically where we store our code. So that's what we're going to talk to. So whenever we look at some code on the web, that's usually on GitHub, we're talking about the repository that the code is stored. And then the next thing we think about is a commit. And when we commit something, we're saying this is a point in time of our code. So if we save a commit or we commit something to a repository, it means that we have committed a code in a different state than our original code. So then it's like slightly different. And that's when we jump into something called branches. And so when we have branch off our original code, and that's what we'll always do usually when we grab a new project, is we'll branch off the original code and we'll basically have a copy of the code, and then we'll do our changes, and then and that's what we would call a branch. So we'll see how to branch off in code after as well. And the master, as we talk to, and if you've seen a lot of programming memes or anything else, you'll always see, commit to master and things like that. But basically, master is the main branch usually on the repo. And usually we avoid pushing to that directly. because it's usually linked to production. And even the repo I've set up for us to try out with, once I merge the code into master, it'll go straight to the web. So we'll be able to actually see it live. You'll be able to see it building, and you'll actually see your code deployed by the end of the workshop. So if anyone has any questions about these things, make sure you throw in the questions there. But if everyone's okay with this, we'll keep going on. So I think the things that usually get people is the committing and the branching. And I'll try, if we have time a little bit later, to go over kind of the commit and branching. But I don't want to get too complicated into the workflow side of things, because I want to just show you how easy it is to find some issues and start playing with code and getting them up onto the internet. So is everyone okay with that? Excellent. So I've got two more concepts, and these are a little bit more advanced, so you can ignore these for right now if you want to. But basically, we'll also hear terms head, which is our most recent code, and when we fast forward, we're basically getting the latest changes. So if you can imagine, if you have some code or a copy of somebody's code, and you make some changes in a file and somebody else makes changes in the same file and things like that, is we're going to have to make sure we pull in code and update it, and there probably could be conflicts and there could be other issues that come along. But fast forwarding is make sure that we have the latest changes, and usually before you push to get something merged, you'll actually fast forward or get the latest changes from master, so that there's no like history errors when we start getting them. It'll make a lot more sense when we visually see it as well in happening. It's not as, with the buzzwords, it can sound a bit more complicated, and I usually hate the technical jargon that goes along with this stuff, when really we're just, all we want to do is, you know, code. So, and that's what we're going to do now. So let's see, I just want to check in. Has anyone started tweeting yet? We're getting some. Nice. Okay, we're getting tweets in. So, does everyone have GitHub account and Git and Node installed? If you have none of none of those things installed, I might help you out afterwards, just getting these stuff done. So let's jump into our repo here. So basically for today, I have created on the Kodu code page, and you can see the URL is Kodu-code. I think the link is in the description. If it's not, somebody just grab it and throw it in as a comment as well. But in here we have a little site that I made from Create React App, and it's a bit lonely at the moment, because if I go to the deploys, okay, we have just me, lonely old me, as the only contributor here. So we're going to try and add a few faces here to this flow. So first off, before I add anyone else's comments or code to the flow, I'm going to actually show you the code and how to do the workflow. So the usual thing you will do when you come along to a repo that you want to get involved in, and a lot of the time it'll be, you'll have been using a package or you'll have used something and you'll say, this isn't doing the thing I wanted to do. And you might go into an issue and create an issue for something that's missing, and you might get invited to actually then make some changes then based on the issue. But the first thing you'll always do is look at and check for a contributing guide. And here we have a little guide on how we do these things. So if you forget what the steps that are involved in do these things, is the easiest thing to do is to fork the repo. From master, so that you have basically a copy of our code. And if you've added code, you should add tests as well. We're not going to get into testing and things in this one because I just didn't want to make it too complicated. But usually what will happen is when I fork code, I make sure it's running and the tests are running and everything is running before you start anything. So I'll show you how we do that in this repo ourselves, but it should say it in the main page how to actually run the application, and you should be able to run all those things. So make sure your code lints. As I said, I don't really have linting on this either, but a lot of projects will have a very particular coding style that you'll have to follow, and usually they'll be, they might reject your code based on just a styling issue, or you might even be, when you open pull request, that you need to actually have a correct naming convention. So there's often naming that goes in. So I have no naming here, again, just to make it easier. The only thing I'm going to ask for, and I'm going to actually put this into the documents now as our first kind of sample workflow, is I'm going to request that emojis are used in issues. So that's what we're going to start with. So if we jump back and we go to the contributors repo, and I can fork this. So you'll see this little button up here, and if you want to follow along, this is probably the perfect time to start coding along and ground these things. So there's a little thing, fork your own copy of Kodu code contributors to your account. Okay, so I'm definitely going to do that, and I'm going to fork that to my own account. Ooh, another hello from Dublin. Hey. I'm waving at the other screen. I should be waving at the camera. Getting used to this live streaming. All right, so now we're actually no longer in Kodu code. We have this little fork symbol beside the code, and we're in my repo here. Excellent. So now I have an entire copy from this. Great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a terminal, and let's see. Wait a second. Can everyone see that okay? Let's sing a song while we're waiting just for the delay, but no, I think it won't take that long. Hoping everyone can see it. So I have a directory called projects that I kind of put all my stuff into. And what we do to get a local copy of these things is we use this clone or download. So we're going to clone because we're going to keep everything cloned. When you clone from a repo, it'll kind of do a lot of the setting up. If you can clone from a repository that you have permissions from, it'll make actually pushing back up a lot less of an issue. Whereas if you download this, you'll have to do a lot of configuration to actually get this working like the repository already is. So I just recommend cloning this. Don't take the easy. If you've never cloned a repo before, don't worry. It's not too complicated. It's just, again, some jargon that we'll get used to using, like everything in web development. It's just a few scary terms, and once we're used to them, it's easy. So we're going to copy over this, and you can press a button to copy it. And I'm going to say git clone cloning into contributors. Excellent. So that didn't take too long. And now we have cloned the repository. So now we have a copy of the repo on my local machine. So I'm going to cd. So I'm going to change directory into contributors. And if we ls, we'll see all of our files there. Excellent. So what are our available scripts? Yarn start, yarn test, and yarn build. So what I have in here, and I'm going to include this actually probably is more important for this, but the first thing you have to do is actually run yarn install. So because some people might have yarn installed, I'm actually going to change this slightly, and I'm going to update the docs here live so we can actually make sure you don't have to install yarn as well as other things. So I'm going to say npm install, and that's all you have to run. This will take a little minute. If anyone has any questions along the way, make sure you shoot it in. Anyone that has attended these things in person, you know, I always say, you know, having beers is always great at this. Usually we have free beer at these things. Hence why I said I'll spend some of the funds on giving away a couple of t-shirts and things instead. But I hope you have beers at the laptops or computers anyway. So this is installing away here. Take a minute. My internet probably doesn't like me downloading and streaming and everything else at the same time. So, oh yeah, post a meme. On my Twitter page, I've just made a post. So make sure you do that, guys, because it's going to get so boring at the end when I'm just like reviewing some code. Get some memes or get some funny comments, or just, you know, you can abuse me on Twitter in the post of, say, where I said going live. There's a link on my Twitter that I just said going live, and just leave some comments on that in like a thread, and I'll start going through all them. Okay, I don't usually use npm too much, but I'm going to ignore that for now, so I'll clear. Okay, so I am going to go into my code now. And you'll see I have a new file already called package.lock, and that's just a file that was generated because I used npm instead of yarn like it's in the documentation. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to zoom in again to make sure everyone can see. The first thing we're going to do is make sure everything is working as expected. So I have a few scripts here that we could run: start, build, test, and eject. I'm going to delete the eject because I don't want people ejecting this. And I'm going to say npm start. You can see localhost 3000. While I'm waiting for that to boot up, I'll just go back over to here. So let's go to my profile. So there's this comment here. Please leave some memes and things. I don't see anything yet. I hope everyone's doing the research there and not listening to me at all. So, and just you should be watching. Like, the t-shirt's definitely more important than learning how to contribute to open source. So we can see here now I have on localhost this running. Okay, and I'm going to open a new tab, and then I'm going to, it's Niall Joe Maher. It should be in the description. If it's not, let me just add this in. Let me put it into the chat. It should be better. Okay, so I threw it into the chat there to make it a little bit easier, because I know for anyone that isn't Irish, my name, it seems to be impossible to say. I always think that's funny because it's a very common name here in Ireland. But I know for anyone outside of Ireland, it's an awkward name to say, let alone spell. So let's have a look. Okay, so we have the app running, and I've another terminal, so I have two terminals here. So I have one running in the node, and the other thing you want to do is make sure you say npm run test. So this is always very helpful. So it says no tests found to related files changes. Yeah, but I want to know that all the tests are all still running. So I press A, and we're running all the tests, the whole one test, app.test. Okay, and that passed. So that means we're ready to go. All right, and then we can jump back in just to make sure our app's running as well. I'm just going to show you how you're going to add your stuff to this. Now I'm going to go back over this later on, so don't panic if you forget this when we get there. But I have a little contributors file here. So this is just to make this friendly for people that don't even know JavaScript, that you can basically copy these things. So what we'll do, and we're definitely going to get some conflicts when it comes to IDs, so make sure you just put in a random ID up here so you don't have conflicts with other people. And if I say ID2, and I'll say the real Niall Maher, and I only do, the real Niall Maher only does JavaScript. Sweet. Okay, and we can see it compiling. And if we go back, we have a new Niall Maher. Let's see, why is my name not changing? I thought it would change to the real Niall Maher, but obviously not. I'm going to have a quick look into my user card. It's because I'm still using mock data. Okay, so I'm going to fix this live so we can see this working. So in contributors, oh no, down here. Import contributors from contributors. Okay, and now, oh, actually that's because it's mocking out all this, so I don't want to import this here. This actually gets sent down. So let's go into our app.js. Oh yeah, I do have it. I'm not passing it down as a prop. Key contributor ID, contributor equals contributors. Okay, so I'm just going to pass down all of the contributor there for a second, and then in contributors we can break everything for a second. No, not in there. In user card, where did I put it? There we go. So we want to get rid of the mock, so we have the contributor prop that I'm taking off this, and I'm going to change it here. I should have done a find all there, but sure, look, we're getting there. Let's see if it's badly broken now. Aha, okay, so now we have the actual data. So I did not want the people to have to go in here, so I can delete this. Shouldn't be, probably break now. I'm definitely forgot to take it from somewhere. Save it. Okay, failed. Mock is not defined. Line 22. Okay, one more. Great. All right, now it's building. Awesome. So I don't want to change the contributors here. I'm not vain enough. I'm not vain enough to actually, have two of me and then one of everyone else. But so I'm just going to put in 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, just to make it some unique ID, because this is something we just use for the key. So you could probably have this as your name, but there's a chance it will be the same. So where I am going to make sure your username is as well is the username of GitHub, because what I'm doing is I'm actually fetching the image here from GitHub based on your username. So this is going to be pretty cool. We'll actually see your image from GitHub sit up here as well. Great. Okay, so that's that fixed. That's that fixed. And then we will go into the contributing guide and issue the pull request. Yeah. 7 bonus, we'll call this. Add an emoji to the issue. My favorite emoji is tacos. So anyone that's worked with me before has seen that when I kind of approve PR, I'll usually leave a taco as my symbol that I've done all right. So if you leave an emoji in the issues, I'll be happy enough. I don't know why. I guess it's just nice to break up the black and white text. Okay, so we've had that. And then the README is going to change because we're going to say npm start npm test and npm, oh, it's actually run, I forgot. Run. We should be okay now. Okay, so I'm going to open a new terminal here. But there's the really easy way to do this if you're a bit scared of the command line prompts is to actually go up to your have a plugin. There's a Git plugin or a Git. I think it's out of the box now, but you can actually change your history here. You can add these, stage them. So there's like 2 steps basically to commit this code. So we pick the files we want to stage, and basically they're the files we want tracked and added. So we add these files to our staging area, it's called. So the first thing we'll do is stage our files. So the cheating way, we can say git add all dot is actually just implicitly says everything here. So we can say git add everything, or we can pick the file name that we want to just add to the staging area. So if you have this plugin in Visual Studio Code, you'll be able to just go in here and just hit the plus button and stage it that way, and you'll see stage changes here. But I'm going to use terminal just in case anyone doesn't have a nice helpful GUI on the side, and we can say git add all of these changes. And now we'll see the changes have gone, and we have all of our stage changes over here. Awesome, right? And then we can say git commit -m for commit message, and then we put this in a string, and we'll say updating readme fixing user cards. So we would actually say this, we talk in the future tense, because just because you push it, so this is going to be updating the readme, and this is going to be fixing the user cards. So we talk in future tense so that when we're looking at these issues that or looking at the history, that we can actually have meaningful messages. So when a repository gets very complicated and we start to look for like the time, the issue that solved it, or the issue where it went wrong. So like, say I would recommend for your message, say adding your name, whatever your name is, to the contributor list, because that way it will be very easy to say, hey, I think it was when such a person added their name. So that's a very meaningful commit, and people can go back then and actually check over things. So I'm going to git commit -m, or you could go up here and type in your message. You don't have to use the strings then because it has a text input. And 7 changed, and great. So there's a cheat sheet again to remind you these steps in the below. So let me know if it's not public in the chat. Actually, I think I might have got an email or that, so I might have to make it public after. So then we can say git push. Okay, and what I've actually done is I've pushed to my own master. Okay, which isn't so bad as pushing to somebody else's master. Okay, so it's okay to make it a little bit easier. But what you would usually do if you're working on other projects is you would say git checkout -b for, which was it's basically / branch. It's just a shorthand. So we'll say git checkout -b for new branch, and we would say some branch name. And then when you'd check that out, we're switched to a new branch, and we can make loads of changes and revert back to master anytime we like. So I'm going to go back to my master branch here. And this is a cool little trick in case you're going around and you can't remember branch names and things like that. If you use git checkout at -1 in curly brackets, you can actually just go back a branch. So I'm back on 2. And that works like if you want to go back 2 branches, go back 3 branches, increase the numbers. So then I just want to make sure before I open the PR, I can say git pull origin master. So I want to pull from master to make sure things are going. So I'm up to date. Excellent. So we might have issues when we go in, but let's jump back. So now we will see, if I refresh this, we'll see the last updates were 2 minutes ago. Great. So it's pretty reactive. Okay. And this is for code contributors. So I'm going to go back to here. And what I can actually do is we can go into this tab called pull requests. And then this is something actually remember. Look at this. This is great for if you're looking where you can help. Highlighted already. You can discover issues with a good first issue label. We're going to do that after as well. But you can basically, what we're going to do is we're going to open a new pull request here. And it's not too obvious here, but what you can do is you can click this link here. I'm going to zoom in a bit. You can click this link here to compare across forks. So because we're not going from the same repository, we're going from a different repository. We just need to compare across it. So awesome. I see a few different contributors up there already. So I'm going to compare from that. Able to merge. Great. I'm going to create a new pull request and adding a tackle. Please take this. Okay. And I can create a pull request there. And as you can see, and this is the same in most projects, is we have some continuous integration, and basically what this does is it checks that our code builds correct and the tests run, so that if you broke anything, it just won't let you merge it. So it's safe enough to play with this, because if it breaks, it just means my CI wasn't set up well enough. But you'll see this on most projects, that if you have if you push, you'll automatically see builds and things running, and it's going to be awesome. So I have this available here as well. So if we want to see the deploy preview is ready, we can go to details, and this is actually a preview of what we're about to push up. So I think that's very cool. So I can see the site. So I think that'll be helpful for you guys if you want to just see that your changes are being reflected, that you've opened it up correctly. And then I'm going to wait until these things have all checked. So all my checks have passed. So this requires one review, but I am currently the only reviewer on this. I probably should have asked somebody to actually help me with this first. But what we're going to do is I'm going to just merge it as this. But I'm going to show you when I start seeing some of your PRs what I see from other people, so you can see how you review PRs and things like that as well. If you've opened an issue, so let me just go into the issues for a second. So this is what I'll say. Make sure go in here and say new issue. Can I add my name, please? And let me add my name, please. I'll be polite to me. No, I'm not going to be polite to me. You guys can be polite to me. Probably won't. I wouldn't be polite to me. Submit new issue, and I'll talk to myself here, and I'll be like, yes, sure. Open a PR, which is pull request, and I'll comment on that as a reply. And then in my pull requests, I can say, when I've opened up this, what I can do is linked issues. Can I add my name, please? So now this issue is linked. And what we can see here is when I actually merge this code, we'll close it. So I'm going to merge this. Use my administrator privileges. Yes. Confirm, merge. Great. And if we go back to the home page, what we'll see is really cool here is we'll see the status is now building for my build here. So that code is currently being built and shipped up to the web as we speak. So that's pretty cool. As I could say, it's nearly instant. So let's see how long it takes to fill build, because it's a small enough package. So I'm just waiting to see, did I ship a bug or anything that's going to get in and break my own repo before everyone else gets to touch it. Okay, success. Great. So I can go over to my deploys, and it's still working. Great. That's better than expected. So what we're going to try and get you to do now is actually open up some issue on GitHub on my repo, and then we'll actually start reviewing the code and seeing getting some code in and start seeing some contributors on it. So I also have, and we're starting, and I've just started to announce this in the last week or so, a couple of weeks, is we've started our own little Discord group where we're going to start planning some open source projects ourselves. So if you're looking for experience in development or you want to build some open source projects, there's going to be things for all levels there. So from people that just know some HTML to people that know the full stack. We're actually, a few of us are already brainstorming in a Discord group. So there's a link to the Discord group in the description. So if you want to join in there, we have an open source software chat where we're discussing some projects. I've even put up some designs for a project to start soon. But it's just so if you have never worked in commercial software before and you're trying to get into it, you can actually work as part of a team with the real workflows. And if it works well, we can start building out some interesting projects together, and it's just generally just have a bit of fun with these things. So if we go in here, I'm just going to check if we have any issues yet. Okay, we have Saran. I guess I'll let you, Saran. Right, okay, there you go. Let's do it. I'll give this a few minutes to actually get people in. So we have a pull request. Who has a pull request? Oh, Marek has already got one open. Good job, Marek. And we can open it. So what I see when we see these things. Oh, cool. Excellent. So thanks, Mark. You saved. I forgot to add the run to the npm run start. All the checks are going. So I can check the files changed here, and I can see what's been changed. And I can actually leave comments here on the particular line, say, good catch, if I could spell. And I wonder why I have things like that left in. And I can approve and leave a taco. You don't have to leave a comment. I just like to leave tacos. So the changes are approved, but the checks haven't completed. So once the checks have actually gone through, I will have the green light to merge these things. Anyone have any questions or anyone having any problems? Because we can go back over any of these things. Just waiting for this to build. I'm just going to refresh it just in case. It's taking longer than expected. Okay, so you see, now we get the lovely green because it's been approved. And we're going to merge this. Update readme. Confirm merge. Whoever sees you, I'll often, I would say usually I will end up, because it's just myself that's approving these things, I'll merge it to make sure that things get in the right order. But on other projects, you might have people just merging their own code as soon as it's approved. But if it looks okay and it's something like as simple as that and it's not going to change things too greatly, I would see it doesn't really matter who changes it. But in this case, it's me changing it, and the reason I want to merge it is because this will trigger a release. So by me merging it, it means I've triggered a new release to merge. So you'll see with most organizations that they'll actually want to merge themselves so that they have control of the build cycle. So that will be shipped up. Then although there'll be no code changed into our repo, it actually triggers a new build because our master branch has changed. Yes, sir. can't find the repo. Okay, let me check. So you should have it there now. And awesome. Right, I'm gonna go into onto my Twitter and see if anything's happened. Pretty good. All right, now I'm starting to like this. You see, this gives me entertainment way too much. Are you saying my beard looks like his? Should I shave my mustache so I look like a dictator? That's probably a good idea. Okay, let's I'm gonna see if I'm just making sure I don't miss. I forgot that some of the previews here get hidden. I'm one with the fuss. Great. All right, we're definitely going to need some more comments and things at the end of this, because we're basically going to give away t-shirts to all the comments here at the moment, because there's not enough. So come on, get put some comments in, or even leave some comments below. If you don't want to do it, you can actually just say hello in the chat as well. And if whoever's still around at the end of the chat, I'll probably give away somebody in here and somebody that's still in the chat at the end of the session. So okay, see if there's anyone problems on my meetup just to make sure. Okay, I think we're good. Excellent. Let's go back to the contributors issues. Yes, let's do it. So I'm going to go back into the code again to talk through what we're changing to do this. So it might take a couple of minutes. In our files, look for the contributors JS, and this is where you're going to add. You can basically copy this, add a comma, and add your stuff here. How do you merge your forked copy? Okay, so if you've made changes here and you can see them, so if you've actually pushed it, have you gotten to the push stage yet, Paul? Or like, have you put this onto your have you pushed this up to your own repository? Just gonna grab water. So okay, so you forked it. Okay, so you forked it, and when you fork it, you will go to your own repo. I'm going to walk through the workflow again. So we will go to repositories. You will have your own contributors code here. You're going to clone this locally, so you have this on your machine. And then when you have it on your machine, you can say, like, so I'm going to make a change here. So I'm going to change this to Mr. Kodu community here. Okay. As you can see, I have a change here listed, but I can say git add dot to add all my changes, or you can just, instead of the dot, just name the file you want to change. And okay, so that's added. And then git commit -m updating title for Niall Maher. Okay, so I've committed that, and then it's still on my machine. I have to make sure I git push. Now there's been some changes made it, so what I actually forgot to do, and I'm going to have to push again, is git pull origin master. Okay, that's mine. So I can actually get the origin from here. In fact, I probably won't go into the what's it? Git set upstream to this one. So once you've actually pushed up your changes, I'm going to go just show you how to open up, and then we'll figure out again. I'll just remember the command for setting the upstream. What is the command again for setting upstream to or from pulling from a different repository? Set upstream. Somebody can help me out in the comments there. And the pull requests in Kodu contributor. So what will happen is when you've pushed, by default, is the change will actually be on your profile. So it'll be put up into your contributor. So I'll see a change made here a couple of minutes ago. So yeah, in source 2 minutes ago it's changed, and that's when I've changed it. And then I go back, and under your forked name, I can go back to the original repository, and then I can go to pull requests, and then I can click new pull request, and there's this link here, compare across forks, and I'm going to look for my one. Cool. And you can see my changes there. So as you can see, it says it's out of date with the master branch. So I'm going to have to update it. What is the command? I don't know why I'm after forgetting it, so we'll Google it. Git command to pull from. This is probably the most heavy-handed. Yeah. Okay, just want to double check. Git remote. Yeah, so your git pull origin. Aha, yeah, setting upstream. That's what I forgot to do at the start of this. So we should have set the upstream to my one, but we can pull the changes from there. So we can say actually I wonder, can I just pull it here? Git remote minus v. Yeah, we'll just check where our remote is. Git remote minus v. Okay, so the origin is here, but we want the origin to be the other one. So we're going to say git I can add the stream. Git. Do I have to push? No, I don't think so. Git push set upstream to, and I'm going to go and grab the Codu contributors original Git URL here because we want to point to this. Oh yeah, because I'm trying to push the master. I'm glad that failed. So as you can see, that failed. I should definitely have not done that. I should definitely be pushing to my branch that I have put up there. But git set. I'm forgetting this. It's been a long day. I started with a new client today as well, so my brain is getting a bit. Git remote, add upstream. Yeah, that's the way I'm used to it. Remote, add upstream. Git pull. Oh yeah. We'll get there. Oh yeah. And if you get this is Vim. So what you can do is you can say colon WQ, and that's right quit. Okay, so that's it. And I can say I'm going to, rather than screwing with other people's code and putting my stuff at the head of the list. So if you want to pull the changes, you can git remote, add upstream. So this is what I'd usually do and what I do historically when I'm kind of forking off things and I want to say if you want to modify something. So what I do a lot is like I've modified create React app a couple of times and I'll add the upstream so that the modifications I've made locally I can keep. But anytime Facebook make new releases, that I can actually pull their changes down so I get their updates as well for free. So that's why I'm used to this slightly different workflow. And if we go back to the pull requests now, there is also Psycher. Okay, awesome. Let's have a look. So we can actually preview this first. Great. Awesome. Looks good. Quick look at the code. And approve. And I'll leave you a taco as well. I will merge this and it's getting in. What URL? Yeah, so the URL is the same URL as what we actually cloned. So if you go to here, you grab the URL from here, so you don't have to remember the whole thing. So you can see the whole URL is just the whole repo that we cloned. So git remote add upstream git, and then we'll say git pull upstream master. don't do the other two commands that it. So we're going to say git remote add upstream to this, and then pull upstream master. So now I have quit. No problem. So now I've just got the latest changes again. Now, look, there's an easier way here as well, just so you know. So don't worry about getting the versioning right. What I will hopefully be able to do is update the branches here. And this is the easy way to do it. So just click update branch, and I should probably be able to trigger a rebuild if there's no conflicts. This issue is gone away. You've already added it. So we're going to close this issue. Okay, so you got that. Okay, so yeah, so you should be pushing to your repository first. So if you've forked this, so if you've actually just forked the repository, so you click the fork button, so I see everyone is, and you should not clone from here. What you make sure you've cloned a repository from, couldn't find ref. Oh yeah, so that you did the same mistake I did there. So I'm just going to talk through Amarie's first. So the fork this and make sure you're cloning from your profile. And so your repositories, and you're actually, so Anne-Marie, you'll be, whatever your GitHub name, we should have cloned it from there. So if I can look at the forks, I should be able to see who forked it. I'm not sure if you're in here yet, Anne-Marie. Did you fork it, Anne-Marie, by any chance? And for Paul, yes, so couldn't find remote ref origin. So did you pull upstream master, or did you do what I did a second ago and say pull upstream origin master? It should be just git pull upstream master. Okay, cool. No worries, Anne-Marie. Just throw in just fork it, and that way you can modify it freely. So you can just push up to your own branches, because it would be, the internet would be chaos if you could just push directly to other people's projects. Yeah. So awesome. So if you want to fork that and make the changes again, that'd be awesome. So I can see the details. Yeah, so I did the same mistake. Look, it's late in the day. I'm after doing a day's work as well, so my brain is making silly mistakes as well on this. Let's go back into the contributors. Great. So we have another pull request. Would you do me a big favor on this one? So let's see, we have conflicts. So I'm going to resolve the conflicts here as well, just to make things easier as well, because we could be a while if we wait for everyone to. So these. So when you see conflicts, this is what you're going to see. And basically this is, we've both changed the same lines in a file and tried to change them or override them. So now we don't know, like, is this what's meant to be on line 11 to 18, or is this meant to be on 11 to 18? So we know it's actually meant to be both. So what we can do here is we can actually add this in. I'm just going to keep it in order of who's done it, and we can get rid of this, get rid of all of this. And now it looks a little bit better. So everyone has that, so I can mark it as resolved and commit merge. I understand. Update master. I guess that didn't work as the way it was, but I have a funny feeling that I still just merged those changes anyway, so let me have a quick look. Okay, it's a caching issue. It's a service worker here actually. So for some reason, if you want to install this as an app, so you can have it on your phone, so you can always remember who the Kodu contributors are, you can do that as well. I don't think there's any need for that. The service worker is caching it. So Command Shift or does a hard reload on that. I'm going to say, let's see if we can. Resolve conflicts. Not sure why this doesn't work. Mark as resolved. Okay, now it's working a bit better. So if we go back to the slides, this is when I was saying earlier that we might run into issues, and we might have to fast forward to grab the latest changes. And when everyone's kind of doing these things at the same time, we're definitely going to get some merge conflicts and things. So I'm just waiting for the preview now to go up. Okay, let's have a look. Nice. Let's go to the files changed, review them. Great. And we can approve. Oh, nearly forgot to give you a taco. I don't want you to starve. Great, let's merge this before I break something else. if you have issues, you're not able to update your fork. Git remote. Oh, what is it? Git find remote git. Can I get to do this? Git remote -v. Okay, cool. So as you can see, like, these are things, because I don't use them that often when I'm used to it. What is it? -v origin. Oh yeah, that's, so we're just checking that. So git, how do we get the git remote? Anyone know in the chat how I check what my origin is? I just want to help out, sir. Oh, don't worry about it. Let me open a new pull request. Okay. So yeah, just make sure like you've forked the repo and you've cloned from yours, because when you push, it should push up to yours by default. Git remote -v. Oh, I press origin. Yeah, great. So there you go. That's why. Damn, I need to get some more coffee into me, I think. A bit late for it. So thanks, Marek. The upstream then is set to the original, and your origin is your own. So just make sure you have something like this in your own. So you want to make sure you have the upstream set. So just a quick reminder, add the upstream to be the code -code/contributors.git, and then git pull upstream master to get the latest codes from the upstream. This is very useful, I think, for just hacking other people's code as well. So definitely get used to doing that. It's pretty useful. Of course, you don't have to actually. I'm going to close these issues down in a minute once I have more PRs closed. I made a mistake on my full name. It's definitely late. I shouldn't be laughing at people not spelling their name right, because I've definitely done it. I'm going to update the branch. Awesome. So just go to commits. See that, issues. You get bonus points if you link your issue. So when you have a PR, I should be linking it. It's just I don't know who made what issue. You can link the issues here. So bonus points if you can add the linked issue here before I close it, because it will automatically close the issues then for me. Nice. Let's have a look at Twitter, see if anything else is going on. So usually the code owner, or like the project owner, because it usually triggers a build. Would that make sense? People are beeping outside for me, I think. I don't know if you could hear that. Nothing good going on Twitter yet. Let's see. Okay. I was hoping to get some more funny things on Twitter. I think people might be too focused. I'll pick an easier topic next time so that people can have more time spending on funny memes. But please, always tag me anything hilarious you find on the internet. I really like that stuff. So I'm definitely going to pick one of the comments here, and I'm also going to pick someone from the chat. So whoever is still left in the chat, make sure you say hello there now. So... oh yeah, I can merge yours now. Okay, checks are done. Files change. You try to... I don't know, you try to become me, I guess. That's what it looks like. Tackle. No Maher. For you. Yeah, say hello if you're still here as well, because I'm going to give a t-shirt away for a meme, and I'm also going to give a t-shirt away to somebody in the chat. Or if there's not, I might even just give 2 randoms in the chat, because I think there's only about like 20 of us here. Great. So let me Command Shift or... cool. So George's here. Great. Nice. Nobody minds talking when there's going to be free stuff. The Discord link should be in the description. I'm going to put in a random number generator to pick out some of these names. So keep on. Who is here? Come on, there's definitely more than... I can tell that there's more than 5 people. I'd say Marie, you're probably still focusing on getting this code up. Okay, that's there, so I can merge this now. Paul, are you still here as well? Just checking. That's all right. Yeah, just making sure. I just want to make sure anyone that's hung around this long has a punt of getting some t-shirts and stuff. Designed by yours truly, so that's why they look awful. So if anyone knows any designers that wouldn't mind giving me some cool artwork for giveaways and things, I'd like to give away it. But I think for the first one, Crack August Code is, you know, crack. Unlike in most other places in the world, crack in Ireland, it means fun. So you know, maybe in some countries it might look a bit offensive, but Crack August Code means fun and code. I better stipulate that before everyone goes around wearing a crack t-shirt. So if we look at it, you'll see it's Irish crack, nothing you can smoke, unfortunately, or fortunately. So I can't get in too much trouble. Please add my changes. I sure can. Looks okay to me. I'll give you a tackle for the hard work. We'll find out. I think I can ship globally. Even if I can't, I'll figure out if I can't ship to India, or if I end up in such a situation where I actually can't send it to wherever in the world is, what I'll do is I will get you a Udemy course of your choice. Once it's not going to cost more than the t-shirt, which was always, you can get the Udemy courses for 20 quid usually, and I think that's what it's going to cost me for the printing of a t-shirt, and probably more to get it shipped. So yeah, even if I can't get you the t-shirt, I'll find out. But let me try get you the t-shirt first. I think I can. I used to have an offensive t-shirt company I made on Shopify, and we used to ship globally. And Raquel is there. How's it going? Okay, there's some conflicts. Let's resolve the conflicts. Three, four. Oh, okay. Okay, there's some conflicts there. Could you make sure you have the latest changes? Because I don't want to accidentally delete anyone else's. So I think if I check the review here, preview deploy. This is correct. Okay, let me have a look. Maybe it's an easy one to fix. If it's not, I'll give up because I'm getting tired. But let's have a look. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The easy thing to do here is, I kind of know. Oh, BF Gru is here. I'm gonna don't do this if you're doing code reviews. This is definitely not how you this is definitely not best practice for fixing merge conflicts, but I know this isn't like functional code, so it shouldn't break anything, he says as he breaks everything. Let's have a look. Okay, boom, boom, Ajo, Fiend. Sorry, there you go. It's because I'm zoomed in. I can't see everything. That's better. This is why I was getting so confused by that. So I can do this. I am not getting paid to promote Udemy. No, it was just an idea to if I couldn't ship the shirts, that I was just trying to think of something that I can, like a digital good that I could give somebody that might be useful. Because I like teaching software and things, I thought it might be a useful trade. I know myself, I'd probably prefer. Oh my god, look, everyone else is nicely formatted, and now mine looks like garbage. Thanks to you guys. So no, I'm not getting. I'm definitely not getting paid to promote Udemy. I just. I know there's a couple of really good creators on there, so let me just make sure. Boom, boom, boom. Did I? Okay, hold on. Where is your change name? I'll find it in a second. Oh yeah. There we go. Sorry. Let me refresh this because I think this is I'm gonna grab this whole thing. Just wait, well, I have it. Yeah, reload it. And okay, your name is correct, so we can mark this as resolved now. Good catch. Commit merge. I understand. Update master. Great, and we'll let this build. We have an approval on everything, so it'll take a couple of minutes and we'll get that. Yes, I can. You just add it, and of course we're going to add it in. Anyone that's here and stuck through the stream, we're definitely going to add it in. It'll probably be out of sync because I just changed it, but I'll resolve the conflicts in a second for you as well. Let's have a look at the files change. So here's the really cool part, is on the build flow here, we can actually go into here and preview. So this is what it would look like if I just merge your code only. So I'm going to merge in the other one first, and then I'm going to resolve the conflicts again, and hopefully not have any weird name issues again. So let's merge this. You go, Saran, you're in. Welcome to the club. Nice, okay. So I'm going to add your changes in here. If I am deleting anyone, make sure you tell me in the chat. I'll give it like the 20 seconds delay, because that's all I'll get, and then I'll be like, I'll end up deleting somebody, and then they'll never forgive me, and I may not sleep tonight. Ready, boom, one, Praveen, let's see. Okay, your name is okay this time at least. I didn't butcher it yet, and I think that is good. And just as a semantics thing, I think, is everyone else done? Yeah, everyone else is using double quotes, so we're just gonna put in double quotes. Oh. So these are little things, these are little details that help. But the great thing about when you push these things up, and because I can fix conflicts rather than telling people, hey, you've made this little change and you have to go through that whole workflow again, sometimes you'll have maintainers that will just be like, it's so close to being done, rather than getting them to start again. They'll just do it for you. Okay, awesome. Commit merge. I understand update master. Let's see if I broke everything. Nice. How do you pronounce your name? David. I don't know how he's gonna. I'm interested in seeing how he types out a pronunciation of his name. Actually, Adejo, David, is it? Did I get that wrong? Okay, Paul, you have a conflict in there. So when you get a conflict, you can't send a VN. You can tell us in the Discord channel. I should have a voice chat. That's the easiest way to tell us. So then you'll be able to actually speak out to us. So if you have a conflict, yeah, so conflicts are very common because we're all working on the same file. This is not ideal. So like if we all had a separate thing, it would be a lot easier because we wouldn't run into conflicts. So what you're going to do is in here, and I'm going to pull upstream master now. Okay, so I have conflicts now. This is great. So now I can actually show you how you'd fix these. So in upstream master here, you're going to have the head, which is the top of your code or your current changes, okay? And then what we see in master or the incoming changes from when I try to pull are all the different code that is already there. And basically, because I'm trying to change my name to Mr. Kodu Community, this is causing an error because the line changes are the same. I'm trying to override lines that have already been there. So the easiest way to do it, Adejaw. Did we say it right? Adejaw? Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted by things. So the easiest thing to do then is, I know I just actually want this line. I don't want to pull everything off, but what we'll do is make sure you can't have these equals. Obviously, these are symbols or illegal characters, we'll say, when you do it. So you can just do that. I end up just then deleting. You can accept the current changes, but then you might lose your own or whatever. So I tend to do it manually. And then you'll see the other equals, which is here. Day job, perfect. I don't know whether you're crying because I'm butchering your name or because I actually got it right. So, okay, so did you fix those conflicts like that, Paul? And once you have the changes, right, you're going to have to merge master. So we have changes. So git commit minus what? Turn off VS Code. I'm just going to do it the easy way because I'm getting sleepy. But we can say boom. Hold on. What is going on? Okay, sorry, I'm just zooming out. It wouldn't let me. Oh, okay. I have to add the changes. So you'd have to git add all, and then you'd git merge it again. So it's like a new commit, and then I can git push. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my git isn't doing too well today. Second guessing myself when I'm doing it. I'm getting too lazy because I have this tool in VS Code. I end up stopping using the command line tools. So I like to just actually every so often just go back to basics and actually change or input these things manually again, just to make sure I have all the bits and pieces in. And okay, so let me know, Paul, if you have those conflicts solved. So you can see now this is updating because I just updated my fork. And Marie, we will have a quick look to see everything is working. So let's have a deploy preview. That's better. Command Shift or if you're gonna. So we have you in there now as well. And approve. And you're definitely getting a taco as well. And let's merge it. And so this is also useful. So I want to say, and this is what most people will do, is this is why it's good for me to merge these things. So to confirm merge, adding great. Nice. So I'm okay. Let's do a random draw for one of these t-shirts anyway. So again, I'm gonna ask again, just so I have everyone's name in a list. Just put your name. Just say hello, and everyone just say hello in the chat, so I can just pick out a t-shirt winner now, and then some of you can start to go if you feel like it. And I'm gonna hang around and make sure I get anyone else's code merged in as well. You've not concluded your merge. Okay, so did you commit your merge, Paul? So make sure that there's no changes left. So if you go git status. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 hellos so far. There's definitely more people here, so say hello. And we're going to do a t-shirt draw. So just say hello. And I'm going to just count up the hellos in order and pick a random number between them. Absolutely. Can I get that t-shirt? I will trade a t-shirt for a t-shirt for that one. Awesome. Thanks, Dave. Nice. I'm definitely going to pick one of these now as well. Praveen, you are eager to get your hands on a t-shirt. There's two different things here. I think I'm definitely going to have to send. I'm going to try send Praveen a t-shirt from the Twitter, and now I'm going to pick one from the chat. So, Paul, are you still here? I just want to actually include you in for the draw. So make sure you say hello. And I seen there was two other Raquels earlier. So if you're in there as well, just let me know and I'll do the draw. Random number. Google's great. I'm going to give like 30 seconds and then I'm going to do the draw. See if there's any more pull requests. Yeah, Paul, you're here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Any more hellos? Now's not the time to be shy when you can get free stuff out of me. Okay. Gonna do it with the 9 people that said hello then. Okay, so Anne-Marie is 1, coding concept 2, and 3, David, hello, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we have 1, 2, 3. If I could count, I think it's 10. So let's go. Boom, 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 boom. I think this froze on me. Let me go again. Generate. Okay, I'm gonna press. I didn't realize this was going. So 1 and 10. I hope I'm just gonna annoy people. Okay, generate. Oh, it just generates when I do it. Who's number 2? All right, so coding concept. You didn't get a t-shirt on Twitter, did you? No, that's Pavan. So and I'm going to do one other thing, right? I'm going to give a t-shirt to Pavan because he's at number 2. Make sure you reach out to me on Discord afterwards to send me your details. But because I have a ladies t-shirt to give away as well, I'm going to, I think there's Raquel and Anne-Marie are still here. So I'm going to just do flip a coin. Anne-Marie, you're going to be heads, and Raquel, you're going to be tails. Okay, and Anne-Marie, you're going to get a t-shirt as well. Excellent. Paul, did you get your code sorted? I think jump into the Discord after this. Okay, Pavan, okay, so you got one on Twitter. Okay, so I'll have to do it again. Okay, coding concept got one, so let's... Great, Pavan. So Pavan, coding concept, and Anne-Marie, you are all getting t-shirts after this. And if for some reason I had it on GitHub, oh great, great. So do we have? Great, we can close this off nicely then. Add my name. Great. Good job. Like this is a serious amount of code we got in one night, and we did it in an awkward way. So this is a really awkward sample. Usually when you do these things, there isn't so many merge conflicts because you're not usually working on the exact same file as everyone else. So this is actually an awkward version of what goes on. And if you're looking for, while this is building, actually, I'm going to show you how you find nice issues to work on. So if you're open pull requests, so you can look at this. There's a good first issue as a sample here. You can look in for good first issue. So I always go is open. This is a great little thing here. So if we go to GitHub, and I'm going to I'll merge your stuff in a second, Paul, but we're going to look at all of GitHub and look at the amount of issues that are marked good first issues. You could also then search by, say, beginner. And then you can actually look, there's little tags here, so you can actually search through GitHub, sort by best match or sort by newest. So say you might want to jump onto somebody that's just put it up. You can sort by the newest stuff that's gone up and actually find things. So play around with these labels. You can get beginner, beginner friendly, I think is another one that has a few on it. So make sure like you search these tags. This one has a lot less, 622. So I'd say beginner is probably a better one because it has so much more. So there's so many more tags there. but Good First Issue seems to be the one that's being pushed by it. But play around, you can have a look, and it's just help welcome. Like, you can just jump in and say, this is YAML. You can search by language down here. So you can search by language, and yeah, look, you can just grab stuff that's going to be JavaScript based. If you're even look HTML, if you want some HTML help. So some people might need help writing docs or websites, so they need the HTML. So then let's go back into our pull request. So yeah, this is all you have to do. So like literally just open an issue, say, hey, I'd like to contribute. Is there any way I can help? Or a lot of times if you go into things, like if you say, like one I was looking at, I just added a comment to say, hey, I might be able to help out, is Expo, because I'm working on a lot of React Native stuff. And you'll see there's so many open issues because it's an open source project, and you can have a look at something like the contributing guide, download and setup, editing SDKs. You can see how detailed this is to get you started. And all projects are like this. Look, you see that they have a commit message type. So when you're writing a commit message, they have something you want. So you'll write the platform, the API, and a title. So it's not too complicated to get these things done. But yeah, so that's all you have to do is look into the contributing guides. If you think there's something you could add, leave an issue. A lot of times they'll have Discord channels or Slack channels you can join to actually start talking to people. The issues are down. We'll go back to the code, and we can say pull requests, and Paul, it looks like you've got a green tick here. Awesome. To prove it, get you a taco as well. I hope everyone got tacos. I might have forgotten somebody. And let's just make sure everything's as expected by looking at the review. Great. If anyone wants to add their name to this afterwards, feel free to. I'll merge them over the next day or two anyway. Like I get emails every time people contribute to these things, so I'll check them out as soon as I can. And add Paul. Add Paul's name if great. And I'm going to close off the open issues. Because we definitely have that one. And make sure you join in on the Discord as well. I have actually a couple of closing slides there anyway. So, okay, this is all done. Great, I think everything's, the only PR that's left is my own one, and I can kind of look after that. There's the t-shirt you've won. Great, well done lads and ladies. Thanks for coming. I had a blast. I hope it was a little bit ropey. I'm still getting used to that. I said this is my first live stream, so I hope you liked it. And I'm hoping to do a lot more of these in the future as well, just especially with the epidemic and everything. I suppose it's a perfect way of actually making sure I can stay out and teach people as well. So I really appreciate everyone that stuck around and enjoyed it. And if you have any feedback, please leave some comments. And I'm going to release the live stream as well. And if you haven't actually subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do that as well, because I'm getting a fair few subscribers now, and I'm enjoying the fun in making the videos as well. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. So if there's any questions, I'll hang around for a few minutes. Thanks a million though for everyone that stuck around. I know it's not easy, I suppose. It's I like doing these things in person, but it's also great that we have so many people from around the world as well for a change as well. So thanks a million for everyone. So if I'm going to hang around just for a couple of minutes in case there's any questions left. Thanks. I can pick up. I have the questions or things here. See you later. All right, I'll call it a day. If you have questions, just jump into the Discord actually, so we can stay chatting there. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. So yeah, let's stay chatting in the Discord, and I will talk to you soon. I'll be doing a couple more impromptu live streams through it, but I'll still be doing my meetups, my 2-hour sessions with the meetups once a month always, and maybe a few more when I decide I just want to turn on my camera. So, all right, have a good night, everyone, and stay safe.